Question 5a. The methods used to produce potable water depend on the available sources of water. Suggest how copper sulfate can be used as a test for the presence of water. Okay, and it's worth 3 marks. Now this is a high demand question, and it will rely on you knowing that copper sulfate, when it's anhydrous, means without water, it is white, and when it is hydrous, so with water, it turns blue. Okay, so copper sulfate, you may have used it in experiments, but it's white when there's no water and it's blue when there is water. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say how we'd make it white. So heat blue copper sulfate until it turns white. This means it is anhydrous. Okay. We then, if there is water present, white copper sulfate will turn colour. It will turn colour if it turns blue, then water is present. Okay, so we use it if it turns blue, water is present. The boiling point is used to check the purity of a sample of water. In chemistry, what is meant by a pure substance? So what is meant by, so this is effectively a define pure substance, only worth 1 mark. So a pure substance means it's either a single element or compound that's not been mixed with anything. Be careful, you can't just say one type of substance, okay? Because a substance may well be a formulation. So the key bit here is there is only one element or compound. So only one element or compound. Okay, careful not to say one element. That would make it an element. But H2O, for instance, as long as you've only got one type of element or compound. Part C. The boiling point of 250 grams sample of water was that. The boiling point of pure water in a data book is that. Each 1% of impurity increases the boiling point by 0.12 degrees Celsius. Calculate the mass of the impurity in the sample of water. It's worth 3 marks. Okay, so I know that each 1% of impurity increases the boiling point by that much. So each 1% increases it by that much. So what I'm looking for is how many of these, how much is it increased by? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the increase in boiling point. Is equal to, so it starts off at 100.60 minus 100.00 equals, why am I doing a calculator for that? I can do that, I think, in my head. 0.60 degrees C. Okay, so now I need to find out how many 0.12s there are in that. So percent, so the number of 1% impurities is going to be equal to 0.60 divided by 0.12. So 0.60 divided by 0.12 equals, and that comes in at 5%. And the final thing, I need to find the mass of the impurity. Okay, so the mass of the impurity, it starts off at, so it's 5% of it is, 5% of this mass is impure. So the mass, I'll show you, 5% of mass is equal to 250 times 5%, which is equal to, and I know that 250 times 5%, so 5% is equal to 250 times 0.05, so 250 times 0.05 equals 12.5 grams. 12.5 grams. Okay, so we've got 5% impurity, gives us a total of 12.5 grams impurity.